So thank you all for being here this morning and giving us a chance to come in and just share a little insight on the project that will go before the Regents for at least approval for the first stage of planning. So it's the Student Athlete Performance Center, and the facility would be about 100,000 square feet addition to the Bergstrom football complex. And it's a facility that, for the first time in the history of Iowa State, we would put under one roof our academic, our dining, our sports medicine, our athletic, the strength and conditioning, and practice for all the student athletes, not just for the football program. It's a project that also would modify the north end of the stadium, and so it would further enhance our family-friendly hills, and those will stay part of the project. That's a big part of our history, but they'll be enhanced so that they can be used more efficiently than what they are used today. It'll connect the concourse all the way around the stadium, so you don't have to technically leave the stadium, like go down the hills and kind of leave the stadium to go to the other side. And then it'll improve ADA access because we'll now have an elevator accessible on the north end as well as the south end of the stadium for those that don't want to wait for the golf carts to ride up to the top of the hill. But the other part I would say with you is that it's also just a continuation of a pretty aggressive master plan that we talked about 12, 13 years ago to enhance our infrastructure, improve our deferred maintenance, and most importantly, give us an ability to recruit on a national level. And the programs that we're trying to compete with are programs that either have these facilities or in the process of trying to create these facilities. And what I'd share with you on that is, we're committed in our athletics program to excellence, both academically and athletically. As regents, you're regents at a time that Iowa State athletics this past fall had its most successful athletic fall in the history of Iowa State University. We ended up not ranked, because rank would mean it's subjective, but we placed 17th of all schools in the country for how our teams do based on how you do at the national championships. To put that in context, a decade ago, we were struggling to be in the top 200, all right? We're second in the Big 12, only to Texas. I don't want to pick on our friends to the east, but to give you a little relative comparison, we're 17th, and Iowa's 134th. And so if you were to look at the schools that are around us, it's the Notre Dames, the USCs, the UCLAs. It's programs that people would look at and go, wow, that's a really top-notch athletics program. So little Williams, Iowa is over there competing with them. So we've come a long ways, and this is a continuation of doing that. Some rule changes that have taken place that are really an impetus for this project. Two major rule changes that have changed in the last 3 to 4 years. Number one, if you're following along at all on the national scene, there's a lot of litigation about student-athlete rights and their demand for their voice to be heard. And two areas where their voice has been significantly heard is time demands. So they've restructured how much time that they are able to spend with their coaches, with their tutors, with their strength and conditioning staff. And as a result, they've demanded more efficiency. They don't want to be in a situation where they have to be here, then over there, then over there. And so what we've seen is just this movement to kind of consolidating all the services to where they can one-stop shop. And so that's really what the genesis of this is, of putting everything under one roof. The second significant rule change, and you've probably heard about, just the unlimited meals, the food and nutrition, but student athletes have just asked and demanded for a more emphasis to put on what they're fueling their bodies with. And so what we've seen is athletic programs hiring registered dietitians, and there being really a specific food and beverage component of how you're feeding and fueling your athletes. And so for us, that's what this also would incorporate, is our ability to bring the training table and put it in one spot for all our student athletes with the academic center, so that they're able to consolidate those services. From a funding standpoint, I would say this, that we take great pride. If somebody would ask me in my 13 years, what am I most proud of, is I would say that we have done a lot, but we've done it very sustainably financially. Again, not, this will sound like I'm picking on my friends to the east, but I just read the article in the Gazette 2 days ago where there was excitement because Iowa had balanced their budget for the first time in 3 or 4 years. I've been here 13 years. We've had 13 straight balanced budgets, okay? And during that time, we've also invested $175 million in either improved or new athletic facilities. We've weaned ourselves from any funding from the state or the university. And in the last 5 years, we've contributed over $100 million in either payments for services or funds that we've provided to the university. And so we have taken great pride in being able to always make decisions that we think about who's going to be here, meaning us, to deal with the ramifications of those decisions, all right? And we're not planning to change that philosophy. I hope I'm here for a long, long time. And so this project, although aggressive, it's about a $70 to $75 million estimated project, is a lot of money. It would be funded 2/3 from what we just do in our department, from our operations, and 1/3 from fundraising. And I can share with you that, based on how we've done this fall and the excitement around Coach Campbell, that the preliminary discussions we've had with donors on the fundraising for this facility have probably been the easiest discussions I've had in my 13 years here, okay? And I don't want to jinx anything, but we've had some people that have said our intent is to do this or that if this project goes forward. I would conclude with this before I take questions is a little history, from an Iowa State standpoint, is I look at where we are right now is we're faced with a huge opportunity, maybe even a responsibility, but a huge opportunity to take advantage of what Coach Campbell has brought to just the overall image of our athletics program, to this city, to this institution. And if we look back in history, Iowa State had that opportunity when Johnny Majors and Earl Bruce were here, and we, for whatever reason, didn't take advantage of that opportunity. And when they left, we went right back to where we had come from and have waited 30 years to get back to a spot where we're relevant on a national level. And I can't say, nor could Matt Campbell say, how long he's going to be here. I think he fully plans to be here. But what I take on as responsibility as athletics director is if and when he weren't here, I want Iowa State's athletics program and football program to be in a position that it's far greater than any one individual. And we didn't do that last time. And so what I'd ask for you today is not asking for anything other than your support to continue to trust us to make the right decisions at the right time that are financially sustainable.